What's up everyone, OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got some awesome topics for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with Bayonetta 3 and why Hideki Kamiya and Platinum Games has been so quiet about it, which we already talked about on this channel. I already explained to you guys what the situation is, but now we have a little bit more clarification because of the game Project GG, a game that Platinum is self-publishing, has gave us some more insight on how things work. So here's what he had to say recently about Project GG. Also, since we're self-publishing Project GG, there are no publishers to get mad at me, Hideki Kamiya said, so I'll be sharing things online, putting up screenshots whenever I like. Now, when it comes to other games like Bayonetta 3, that's not Platinum's decision to talk about it. They're not allowed to since they aren't the publisher. They're not the ones who are funding the game. So here's what Hideki Kamiya had to say on the matter. Quote, "We don't have that much say over projects that we're not publishing, and we understand different titles require different approaches, so we respect the publisher's decisions. So if there is a difference between what we want to do with Project GG versus what we normally do with our other titles, it's not really criticism for those publishers. We respect their approaches, but for this title especially, our approach as a company is that we're hoping to be more open." So that's pretty much what it comes down to, guys. Like, Platinum Games has a couple of big titles in development now at this point for different publishers. So we have Bayonetta 3, for example, that's been in development for multiple years now, and Nintendo has been waiting to show off this game because Nintendo is the one who's funding the game. It's funny because everyone would go to Hideki Kamiya in interviews and ask them, like, hey, what's going on with Bayonetta 3? What's going on with Bayonetta 3? I think not knowing that he's not allowed to talk about it. And I know that seems weird because we always talk about this, but honestly, I feel that some of these people asking these questions literally don't know that he's not allowed to talk about it, because the reason why I say that is because anytime that Nintendo gets a chance to talk with other I would say outlets or anything, they never ask Nintendo, like directly, like Nintendo, what's going down, or at least I don't see it. They always only ask Hideki Kamiya, but they don't ask Nintendo in different interviews and stuff like that. We've seen with Doug Bowser, with other people. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the journalists ask Nintendo, in terms of people who work there, like what's going on, whether it's a Japanese interview or it's a Western interview. So they're just going to Hideki Kamiya. So I honestly think that a lot of the journalists and people out there did not know that he was not allowed to talk about it or anything like that. I think some maybe suspected that, but I do feel that a lot of people felt that it's his place to talk about it. So I think that's really what it comes down to, guys. Nintendo's the one that decides, which we did talk about before, but this is obviously just a reconfirmation here on this matter. So Bayonetta 3 will be revealed when it's ready to be revealed. I talked about it before in a video, so if you want to hear my full thoughts on everything, I'll have a link in the description where I talk about Bayonetta 3 and what's going on. But I do feel that it will be revealed and released this year. I think it's going to be like an actual chain type of situation, so we'll see how it actually all works out and what happens. But what are you guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. We've got the official announcement of Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Hinokami Keppuutan for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series of Systems, Xbox One, PC. So yeah, it is going down on lots of different systems. Now I gotta be careful with this game because they still play that we're gonna copyright any type of actual footage, but there's some new screenshots that I'm going to show off to you guys, and of course link in the description. But we do have some new information on some gameplay modes and what you can expect in there. So here are some details via Aniplex. In Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, you can relive the story of the Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba anime in solo play mode and battle as the characters that appear in the anime in versus mode. In Versus Mode, which can be played either offline or online, players can enjoy exhilarating 2-on-2 battles with simple controls using any combination of characters that appear in the anime, including Tanjiro Kamado, Nezuko Kamado, and more. Additionally, Ufotable, the studio that produced the Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba anime, created a new key visual for the game. So that's pretty cool to see this. There was a lot of chatter about what's going on with this game and is it only going to be on PlayStation 4, because that's the only system that it was announced on last year was PlayStation 4. Obviously, PS4 is kind of like on its way out, kind of dimming in many areas when it comes to the sales, and PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series systems have taken over in terms of what's going on there. So it makes sense that they bring it over to the newer systems. Although a lot of people were upset that there wasn't a Switch version of the game, this is a massive, huge anime that's going to make a lot of money, obviously, and not having a Switch version, the biggest system at this point in terms of sales, probably is going to be a mistake that they'll rectify later down the line. This is an Unreal Engine 4 game. I'm not exactly sure why they're going with a series of systems instead when it comes down to things, because I think that they maybe could have got something going. But I just wanted to answer the question for people that kept on asking me about it. It seems like they went with the easiest type of thing to do, but this is also a Sony-owned type of thing here. I think Sony Music owns like the Aniplex and stuff, so there might be some more complications with it, but it's on Xbox as well, and of course on PC too. But we'll see what happens in the future. We don't know if the game is super good or anything because they haven't shown a lot of footage. So it's hard to tell exactly how good or bad this game is going to be. I mean, it looks the part, which is great. And I think that the developers behind this game, when it comes to they know what they're doing. I mean, they've made lots of different types of games. CyberConnect has made some awesome stuff before. They know how to make graphically impressive games. So we'll have to wait and see when it actually comes out to see how good the game actually is. So what are you guys' thoughts on the new Demon Slayer game? Are you guys planning on picking this one up? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. We've got some final details for Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. There was a leak for the game recently, and some new information came out from the data mining and everything from that leak. So when it comes to the online play, we talked about the new infrastructure that Nintendo has shifted over to the NPLN. Now, Super Mario 3D World's online play will not be using that, but we have more information on that in just a bit. So the final build was made on November 25th, 2020. Bowser's Fury is codenamed Ocean, and I guess maybe because of all the different water that's around there. And the port is made in collaboration with Nintendo Software Technology, Nintendo's US studio, and 1UP Studio. So we also learned a couple different other things as well when it comes to like the online multiplayer, right? In terms of what Nintendo is doing, and they're switching over from the old system NEX to NPLN. We have the first game taking advantage of that is Monster Hunter Rise. This game, Super Mario 3D World, will not be part of that. And a noted data miner, his name is Oatmeal Dome, says that he doesn't feel that it's going to be significant when it comes to it. So it's not like it's guaranteed bad online or something like that, because the new system NPLN isn't some type of quote magic bullet that fixes everything. And the majority of the connected quality concerns have more to do with actual netcode implementation. So it's based on how the game is coded and how they write it, not necessarily on the system that it's on. This is mostly handled by Nintendo's peer-to-peer netcode library known as PIA, and is still being used with NPLN. So they're still doing kind of the same things there. So we'll see what happens with the game when it comes to the online as well. But Oatmeal Dome also adds that the way in which PIA is used as well as code optimization will impact connection quality. So it comes down to how the developers do everything, because there are games on the Nintendo Switch Online that play better, obviously, than games that don't. There are games that have rollback netcode and there's games that not. So it's really based on what the developers doing in coding with their netcode in conjunction with what's going on there. But we'll see how everything works out. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury is out this week. I think it's going to be a ton of fun. I know I'm going to be playing the game myself. I'm going to be having a lot of fun streaming it for you guys. So it should be cool. It should be pretty good. Can't wait to get into Bowser's Fury, the new content as well. So what are you guys' thoughts on all of this when it comes to Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here, guys. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time remake has been delayed once again. This game is getting delayed quite a bit after that disastrous graphical showing when it comes to it last year. Now, the developers of the game had a message on the delay. Quote, "Since announcing Prince of Persia The Sands of Time remake in September, we saw an outpouring of feedback from you on this beloved franchise. It is your passion and support that is driving our development teams to make the best game possible. With that said, we have made the decision to shift the release for Prince of Persia The Sands of Time remake to a later date. This extra development time will enable our teams to deliver a remake that feels fresh while remaining faithful to the original. We understand the update might come as a surprise, and we will continue to keep you posted on the progress of Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time remake. In the meantime, we want to thank you for your ongoing support. So the reason why I think that they're doing this is because, one, it's just for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC, right? Obviously, those systems on the way down, and the new systems are out, and those new systems can't be found anywhere. So why release it anytime soon? There's just like no reason, especially after the whole graphics thing and everything like that. If they wait, they're probably gonna wait, right? Obviously they're waiting. There's no release date or time period because they're gonna put it on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. That's just pretty much what's happening. They're going to take their time, they're going to make the graphics way better, and they're going to re-reveal it with those versions and say, hey, look what we've got for you guys now, look at this, and it looks way better, and it's just going to be a better time for them to launch it. So that's exactly what's going on here, guys. They don't want to release this game on PS4 and Xbox One, and how the graphics are just going to look. Not that the PS4 and Xbox One can't do better, because they can, but it just makes sense at this point just to delay it indefinitely until a later time, until where there's more of the newer systems out, and of course you can take advantage of those systems. So it just doesn't make sense. So I get what they're doing here, and I think it's going to end up working out for them in the long run, because this game, people weren't really hyped when it comes down to the game after they saw how it looked. So there's really no rush for a Prince of Persia: Sands of Time remake. I don't think anybody's like rushing, like, oh my gosh, I'm upset about Prince of Persia, you know? So I think it's a good idea to do that. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the final topic here, guys, we've got a little bit of a freebie from GameStop. A shiny Toxtricity is coming to the GameStop stores. Let's go. So if you're looking to add a nice, shiny Toxtricity to your collection of Pokemon Sword and Shield, GameStop has your hookup. Now the download on this, guys, is that GameStop stores have started to put up advertisements showing that a shiny Toxtricity distribution is planned in the near future. Now fans will be able to use the Pokemon Pass app in the United States with a serial code from EB Games in Canada. The distribution is planned as promotion for the new Shining Fates TCG set. So look for this shiny Toxtricity to be in GameStop stores on February 19th. So coming up pretty soon here, about a week or so into it. So good stuff there for GameStop and Nintendo working together. That's the one thing that I've always loved about, I guess, like Pokemon. They've always done like these distributions and these cool different things beforehand. I remember back when I used to play Pokemon a lot, I used to go to the GameStops and get stuff on like Diamond and Pearl, or was it X and Y? I know X and Y for sure, some of the newer ones and everything like that. So that was pretty cool. And even like back in the day, there was like Toys R Us stuff that you can do. Like if you went and brought like your Link cable or whatever, you can get like certain special stuff from like Toys R Us back in the day too. So that's always been awesome. So I wanted to cover it because I think it's cool to do that. You know, it's kind of like a nice little bonus for the players of the game. And you don't got to pay for it. It's just right there for you. So what do you guys think about all the different news that we talked about here today, from Platinum Games Bayonetta, Demon Slayer, Super Mario 3D World, Prince of Persia, and of course GameStop with this Pokemon stuff? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all the latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.